The MD Designs 305 Sprint Car Series is on the air. Live from Five Flags Speedway, it's the Battle of the Gulf Coast. This broadcast being brought to you in part by Trent Goodrow Designs, Griffith Stone, and Moonlit Dreams. Moonlit Dreams, your home for all your weighted blanket needs. Bofa Broadcasting proudly brings to you overlays by PZ Overlays. Paul Zoda providing some of the greatest overlays in all of iRacing. For more information on how you can get your own, you can find Paul Zoda on his Facebook page. PZ Overlays. And of course, Bofa Broadcasting proudly supports pulmonary hypertension awareness. PH is one of the most difficult to diagnose terminal illnesses on the planet due to the fact that it masks itself as so many other terminal illnesses that doctors aren't usually quick enough to put the pieces together until the only alternative is a lung transplant. For more information on how you can get more aware, we ask that you go to phaware.global. Tony Trapasso up in the booth with you tonight, joined with me by my partners in crime, my brothers from another mother, Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett and Mr. Kevin Paskowitz. Gentlemen, how the heck are you?
I am doing absolutely fine, Tony. How the heck are you?
Well, I finally got my voice back after this whole sinus thing's really starting to piss me off. And KP, I heard you got a little toasty yesterday at the Brickyard.
Yeah, just a little bit. You know, I've been saying that I wanted to go to Indianapolis since I was, I don't know, a 7-8-year-old kid. It's been one of those lifelong dreams. Finally decided to make it this year, and of course it's the hottest one on record. So it was a little warm, but man, was it a good race.
Fair enough. While we still have some time, we are going to reach out to the owner of Moonlit Dreams, Mr. Mark Brenkamp. Mark, Tony up in the booth, you got me, sir.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Can hear you just fine, sir. So, Moonlit Dreams, your home for all your weighted blanket needs. What can you tell us more about the company?
So, I am actually not the owner of the company, but my brother and sister are. The original idea came from, because my middle niece had autism, and my sister-in-law got to reading about, you know, problems to solve issues with sleeping. She'd come across these weighted blankets, and she thought, you know, hey, let's try making some. And well, she made one, and then turned into a business. So, yeah, you know, it's for more than just, you know, autism, PTSD, stuff like that. I mean, the normal person with, you know, just trouble sleeping, period, can get one and it'll help them.
I can speak from experience that whenever I've got a weighted blanket on, I tend to sleep a ton better than when I don't have access to it. So
I can say that in the PH community, too, they're very popular because they help patients, especially with anxiety, with their medication. Other things that helps them sleep a lot better, too. So.
And yeah, I've got to applaud you there, Mark, for coming up with the whole weighted blanket idea, because I, as a person with a nephew that actually does have autism, he has a weighted blanket as well, and they really do help with it, with his sleeping. So yeah, definitely kudos go out to Moonlit Dreams.
So Mark, we'll let you get back to it. Real quick, I do want to make sure I get the website right. www.moonlitdreams.net.
Yep, that is correct. You can go on there and browse around, Just, send them a message and see what we can do for you, or what they can do for you, and get you going.
All right. Best of luck to you tonight, Mark, and looking forward to seeing you in about 75 laps.
Thank you, sir.
User was moved out of your channel.
So yeah, Moonlit Dreams coming on to sponsor the series this year. A couple things, Sam and KP, I know you guys are new to these broadcasts with the Sprint guys. Griffith Stone is actually putting a bounty up tonight, and they're doing this all season long. Anyone who qualifies in the top 5 can choose to get an EOL, start shotgun on the field, and if they can win the race, it's a $5 bounty.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm all for trying to figure out ways to make racing a little bit more fun, and I think, we're all guys, this is all our hobbies, so throwing a couple bucks at it definitely is a little bit of an incentive. Should make for some fun racing.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's Hot Laps cranking off right now, and we'll take a look at the track conditions currently. Relatively cool for Pensacola, Florida. 65-degree ambient air temperature. Track temperature, though, of 92 degrees, so it is a little bit greasy out there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to say 65 degrees Pensacola, Florida. It must be January 1st.
Yeah, that's no lie, right? But the one thing that I do want to point out is while there is no actual tire wear on the dirt cars, these cars do generate a ton of heat in those tires. And unfortunately, with the dirt cars, especially with the dirt sprint car, you can't get the stagger below 8 inches. And KP, I know you've run enough pavement stuff around here to realize that that's about 4 times as much stagger as you need to get around this place.
Yeah, it's, this track is, when you're running a street stock or a super lane around here, I don't want to say it's gentle, but you definitely don't need a whole lot of stagger. And yeah, with these cars jacked up like that, just sitting here watching Hot Laps, I see a couple of guys definitely loose. It looks like, especially through the middle and off the corners, and I think it's just, the fact that that's how these cars are set up. They're not designed to have, a whole lot there because they're not designed for pavement, and it's going to make it fun. I think it's going to make it incredibly challenging.
It is, and that's normal for these cars. It's fun to watch the drivers really have to be up on the wheel.
Yeah, speaking of it being challenging, I have seen in these Hot Lap sessions a few occasions where people are where the drivers are actually having to fight the cars around the corners, especially turn 4. That seems to be Calamity Corner here tonight, and people having to fight the car in order to keep it straight, and most of the time not really able to save it in time.
Well, the problem with the sprint car is you're never actually going straight in a sprint car, and if you are, you've got tire problems to begin with. But turn 4, as you mentioned, Sam, there's a nasty bump. Yeah, about this half a lane off of the wall, and it's just before the lines actually straighten out. And see if we can pick it up on the next time by with these guys. Right there, just before the wall starts to straighten out on the front stretch, there's a big bump, and it's the transition from the corner to the straightaway because they're different bankings. And if you're on that second line, you're gonna be fighting it down the entire length of the front stretch.
Well, I've just been looking at Ryan Libby making a few laps around the track. He is faster than Hot Laps by 9,000ths of a second, but I just noticed, he did hit that bump coming through turn 4, and he basically hit the outside wall like a lawn dart. So definitely difficult to control these cars around this track, especially through turn 4 and where that bump is.
Yeah, I'm sitting here watching it, and You know, I have to tell you guys, I got to watch my first ever pavement sprint car race this weekend, and it was a ton of fun. We were at the Little 500 in Anderson, which, by the way, if anyone from iRacing is listening, you need to scan that track. It's amazing. But you know, just the differences between, you know, the pavement sprint car and the dirt sprint car is incredible. And watching these guys try and wrestle these dirt cars around this pavement track is going to be impressive. I mean, this suspension's always working. And yeah, I mean, any little thing's going to unload that suspension, and that's what I think we're seeing. They're hitting the bump. The rear end's unloading at an awkward angle, and the cars are just becoming uncontrollable.
Yeah, and that's going to be a recurring issue as this race goes along, as they do hit that bump, and it's going to be difficult to not get into a complete dumpster fire when they're all bunched together going through turn 4 on lap 1.
True story. But the one thing you do need to remember too, KP, if you do make it back to the Little 500, we did talk about this in text chat, is bring spare shoes. And that's we're just going to leave it there, because those who saw the text message get the joke. But bring spare shoes next time.
Excuse me. Yes, that's already on my list for next year.
So that was interesting.
Yeah. Our broadcast has been hijacked, ladies and gentlemen. Just kidding.
Hey, Sam, tell those kids in your street near your house that you're going to call the cops if they keep yelling like that. But,
I know, right?
Now, KP, you missed the briefing I gave Sam earlier. The way that the series runs, and for those of you just joining us, you are watching a presentation of the MD Designs 305 Sprint Series. This is the Battle of the Gulf Coast 75 from Five Flag Speedway. The way the series runs is they start all the cars with 3 gallons of fuel. And unfortunately, iRacing has broken the dirt sprint car where you have 2 choices for your fuel load. A qualifying run or a race run. And a race run is 30 gallons. And a qualifying run is 3 gallons. Well, the problem is, with a 305 sprint car, you don't need 30 gallons to go the length that these races are. So, what ends up happening is the car is just way overloaded, and so what they do is they start them on 3 gallons for the race, and then you pit at will and decide when you want to pit and how much fuel you want to take at that point. And you'll see some guys, you know, they might take a right rear at that time just to make sure they've got a fresh one on there. So,
well, that does make it interesting. You know, again this week I didn't know sprint cars could make you know, race length pit stops. So it'll be interesting to watch here in the sim. I admit I'm completely new to this, novice, and I mean it's shaping up to look like a lot of fun. I just can't say that enough.
And there is a name out on track that you two might recognize, driving a different number though. Currently sitting 6th quick.
Nate Anderson.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I dare say we're going to need to get a new paint scheme for Nate for next week.
Absolutely.
As he goes to the top of the leaderboard. And immediately gets bumped off by Matt Dale. Mark Brumkamp driving the Moonlit Dreams Designs 305, number 78, currently sitting 5th quick. Ryan Libby, who was quickest in hot laps, is 4th quick. Josh Gaiman is 3rd. Nick Schneider out on track right now.
I'm saying I'm impressed. These guys are really wheeling it around these corners. I mean, more than one qualifier I've seen sideways and just drives through it. Very impressive.
Absolutely.
I'm noticing that these sprint cars are actually bottoming out going through the corners. They're like dealing with the transition from the bottom to the top, and it's like creating sparks off the bottom of the car. So if you see something like that, ladies and gentlemen, where there are sparks off the car is not damaged. It's just where the car is bottoming out, where the bottom of the car is just dealing with the transitions of the track.
Well, luckily, iRacing doesn't have the damage model set to where you can grind the frame rail off the car. Because if you sprung these cars as light in real life as they have to get them around here in the sim, you're basically going to be just throwing that chassis in the garbage bin when you get home because the bottom frame rails are going to be gone.
Absolutely.
This one is... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, Doug Wysocki and the Pet Boys 231 out on track now. And you can see the sparks that he's throwing, like Sam was talking about, as he goes into the corner. And you really see it when he goes to squeeze the trigger coming off the corner, just how much that chassis unloads.
Now, that is something, guys, that I have heard rumors about with the next damage model, whether or not it's going to be true. But the next damage model in iRacing will involve at least some repercussions for dragging, probably mostly around the splitters for the cup cars and things like that. But rumors are that if it does happen, that it would have effects on these cars and others as well.
Michael Henry into the top 5 now.
Michael Henry won the last broadcast we were able to do. Unfortunately, I was unable to broadcast last week's race. I'm still waiting to go through the footage. Unfortunately, I just have not had time. That will be a tape-delayed broadcast. Hopefully next Sunday, I hope to have that out. But Mike Henry won the last broadcast that we did for the MD Designs 305 Sprint Series. So that's going to about do it for the hot lap session, or sorry, for the qualifying session. One thing I do want to remind everyone of is the reason why we are, for lack of a better term, why we're here this weekend. And that basically has to do with today being Memorial Weekend. And I know, everybody wants to thank anyone who's ever served in the armed forces, but I do need to caution you that Armed Forces Day was actually last Thursday. Today is the day that we pay tribute to the men and women who actually weren't able to make it back home to their families and loved ones. And that's really what Memorial Day is about. And I get it, ladies and gentlemen, that you want to show the respect for the people who serve around the world to give us the freedoms that we're able to partake in, and I get it, but I'm enough preaching from me. We do ask that you all please rise, gentlemen. Please remove your hats as United States Army retired Mr. Terry Adams brings us the United States National Anthem. And I dare say that it's probably my favorite ever rendition of the national anthem by Mr. Terry Adams there. So,
and I actually agree with you, because I use it on my broadcast as well when I'm hosting the broadcast, and always definitely the best rendition of the national anthem by Terry Adams, as you already mentioned, Tony, and definitely worth a listen every time we do these broadcasts.
So qualifying completely over with now. Everybody that has taken time, or everybody that's going to take time, has taken time. Matt Dale sitting atop the leaderboard, unofficial track record 16.506. Nate Anderson 16.517 to right behind him. Yeah, Michael Henry to 16.523. Josh Gaiman is 16.532. Basically throw a blanket over your top 7. They're within a tenth of a second of each other.
Yeah, that is absolutely close running between those guys. I mean, that's the kind of thing you'd expect it with the sprint cars, even if it's on asphalt, that they are going to be really tightly packed together, and the times are just going to be absolutely paper thin.
Well, when you take a car that's really a momentum car like the 305 is, and then you put it at a track that is so momentum-based that it's scary, like Five Flags is here in Pensacola, Florida, that's a recipe for either awesome racing or flirting with disaster. And so far, it looks like it's going to be awesome racing.
Yeah, Go ahead, KP.
I was going to say, yeah, definitely. These guys, they look like they know what they're doing. I admit I'm new to this. I'm looking forward to an exciting race, but I think we're going to have an awesome, awesome race.
I would have to agree with you on that one, KP, as starting up on the point is going to be Mr. Matt Dale. He's going to be joined in row 1 with Nate Anderson. Row number 2 is going to go to Mike Henry and Josh Gaiman. Ryan Libby and Mark Bremkamp are going to make up row number 3. Row 4 is going to see Dalton Connor and Nick Schneider, hometown boy Nick Schneider, I might add, from the Pensacola area. Neil Allison and Colin Penn make up row number 5. Sam?
Wait 1 second. Trent Goodrow and Wally Beatty are going to make up row number 6. Row number 7 is going to be Jason Griffith and Robert Smith. Row 7 is going to be Douglas Wysocki and David Hain, and that is going to round out your field of 16 drivers.
All right. So 16 cars scheduled to do some battle here. We got 75 laps slated in the book to get it done.
I just want to state, for a short track race, we're looking at about 6/10 of a second or thereabouts separating this entire field. That's very impressive. Not something you see very often in any series on a short track. So incredibly equally matched cars and drivers by the looks of it.
And I don't want to tempt. Oh no, there he is. I thought Matt Dale was going to take that the bounty that you mentioned earlier, Tony, where you start at the back. And
he forward. Is. Look what he's doing. He's already pulling down to the inside. Challenge accepted. Matt Dale going to the tail end of the field to try to collect that bounty. And of course, we are talking about the Griffith Stone $5 challenge. Anyone that starts in the top 5 can choose to take a end of line penalty and start shotgun on the field as they roll their way through 3 and 4. And that is going to move.
Yeah, that's going to move Michael Henry up to the 2nd spot now. Nate Anderson is now going to be your pole sitter as they...
not really. It's just going to move the entire inside line up, unfortunately.
That's going to put
that's going to put Mike Henry on the pole, which anybody who was watching the last broadcast we did for this series, that spells disaster for the rest of the field with Henry starting that far forward.
Already, look, they're away already.
No, almost. Pace car is in, though.
Green.
And we are under green as Henry getting the jump. They're 2 and 3 wide behind him.
Yeah, everybody 2 by 2 as they go through turns 3 and 4. Try and see who can get figured out here as they go and complete lap number 1. Number 1 is in the books.
And that's Josh Gaiman in the greens, number 77, trying to get it wound up on the high side. Field started to get strung out a little bit. And we've got our first taker going down pit road, it looks like.
That's Mark Brandkamp.
Now, I do have to ask, guys, is this cautions on or cautions off series?
Caution's on.
Aha.
But they're only starting with 3 gallons, which is only good for maybe 5 laps.
Matt Dale's in.
So Dale getting it out of the way early. Bremkamp getting it out of the way early.
I just gotta hope that the rest of the field makes it to.
There's Anderson going in. Well, we've seen that. We've seen it happen both ways.
Yeah, that's Anderson and Allison that just came in there. So everybody taking their turns to come down pit road and get their pit stops out of the way early, as you already mentioned, Tony. Looks like Joshua Gaiman's the next one to come down as well as Jason Griffiths. So everybody going to start bringing it down each lap, taking it in turns to get to their pit stops.
Well, they're at that point right now where, you know, you're flirting with disaster if you stay out much longer, and it's going to be interesting to see how this cycles through.
Oh, look at the lead Michael Henry's got over Dalton Connor already, though. 2.7 seconds over the number 225 already as Connor brings it in.
And that means he's now leading over Trent Goodrow. Goodrow's no slouch, though. And it looks like Mike Henry's going to stay out for another lap. Really flirting with disaster now. So Goodrow's down pit road.
I was going to say, you know, guys, short track, short pit, but you still don't want to go down it unpowered.
And there he goes, Mike Henry going down pit road.
I'm not sure he's powered, guys. He rolled past the camera. I didn't hear a motor.
He is way under speed, too. No, he's under power. He's still under power. Because it's a 30-mile-an-hour pit road around here. The question is anybody going to get popped for speeding? Because it's very easy to do in this sprint car.
Yeah, and because it's a true dirt stock car, there is no speed limiter on these things, so you definitely got to keep it wound down and not mash the pedal when you're in pit road.
And that busted for speeding Mike Henry.
Wow.
Oh, man, that's got to hurt. I mean, that's a lap here, if not more.
And that's put Joshua Gaiman up to the lead now.
Hang on to her, kid. And there is the deadly needed caution that everybody was looking for. A day late and a dollar short for some, though.
And that's helped Michael Henry as well, because he had that penalty.
He was about to go a lap down.
Yeah. And he managed to keep it in the top 10 because of that as well.
Well, that was an exciting first few laps.
All right, so catch your breath, folks, because it's about to get exciting from here. That's going to hand the lead of the race over to Ryan Libby in the, looks like Fireball number 46. And a Fireball can be fun.
And I just want to point out, Matt Dale already back up into the top 10 after taking that EOL for the challenge prize. So now let's see if he can keep moving it forward.
I'm thinking he may have taken almost a full boat of fuel. And the reason I say that is I'm looking at the guys who've been on pit road, Matt Dale has one of the longest times in his stall. So I'm thinking he made sure he's got enough fuel to make it the entire way and have some to spare should he need it.
Yeah, these fuel tanks on these sprint cars are very heavy when they're full, so he is going to be a bit... he's going to have a lot of drag in that car to start with because of the amount of fuel in his car. But once that fuel tank gets lighter, he'll start picking up the speed, and that's where he'll start making his way to the front.
The question is, can he keep the tires underneath it for that entire time? And Sam, you're absolutely right, because if you look where the back bumper is, that bodywork that's inside the back bumper, that is the fuel tank on this car. And on a dirt track, it'll act like a giant pendulum. And can really put a downer on your night. So, Libby and Anderson up on the front row. KP, why don't you bring us back to green?
All right. Well, looks like we're formed up here. That Ford Mustang pace car about to take the hard left. He's onto the apron. He's onto pit road. All right, leader Ryan Libby holding them back, and there they go. We are rocketing back up to speed into turn one.
Oh, someone taking it really high and hitting the wall on the outside there. Not sure who that was. I think that was Robert Smith. No, it wasn't. It was Jason Griffiths really getting it wrong through turns 1 and 2 and spearing that outside wall.
Yeah, he does appear to, at least I think it looks like he's back under power and on his way. So maybe no harm, no foul, depending on if he bent anything under that car.
And he is back up to speed again, and he is still behind the lead pack, so no harm, no foul for that number 985 M&M's machine. Ryan Libby still holds the lead out in front, however, Nate Anderson right on his tail as they complete another lap and start lap number 19.
Laps are just clicking off one by one here. I mean, obviously fast cars, short track. But yeah, we've... looks like the top 5 or so have kind of strung out. Maybe the top 10 single file right now. How many of these guys are just letting it run out?
Yeah, as the caution's out again. Wally Beatty's involved.
Dalton Connor pointing the wrong way on a one-way street.
Yeah. But Wally Beatty looks like he's got a more damaged sprint car than Connor. So...
Oh, that would explain what happened.
Yeah.
Dalton got it all wrong and unfortunately got it sideways in front of Mike Henry. Henry had absolutely nowhere to go and just helped finish him off. And as he was spinning, he caught the 75 of Beatty.
As Beatty's just spun it again and he's stuck in the pit wall.
That's not what you want to see, because 99% of the time that's an iRacing tow, which at a short track like this is at least 2 laps.
Yep. Well, the good news is we can go back and take a look at exactly what Wally Beatty saw. A little bit of connection issue for Beatty right now. And there's your first ARCA moment of the night, folks.
Yep.
So
Definitely
Beatty down and underway.
Definitely everybody racing hard at this point in the race. I know it's a short race and we're already approaching halfway very quickly, but it seems like everybody's racing as if it's the final lap already.
Well, the thing is, Sam, normally these are only 35 to 45 lap races. The fact that this is a special Memorial Day event tonight, you know, this is a special 75 lapper. These guys aren't really used to running past 50 laps, so on a normal night, we'd be right around 10 to go right now. As the lights go out on the pace car, Sam, why don't you bring us back to green?
Absolutely, as we are getting ready to go again. That pace car is going to make the hard left turn, and it does. Ryan Libby's going to get us going as they come out of turn 4. One more time, lap 25 is where we go green again, and away they go, 2 by 2 into turn 1. Look at all those sparks coming off all those cars as they make their way through turn 2.
Now, I do have to ask, because I myself am new, is this a fixed or open setup league?
Fixed. It's a fixed setup league because, unfortunately, the iRacing algorithm won't recognize the changes that you need to make to the dirt cars to get them to work on a pavement track otherwise.
Aha.
Just a quick update on Matt Dale. He is up to P6. That is P6.
He's just coming, guys. I think.
He ain't even breathing hard yet.
On Matt tonight.
Ooh. Now, I don't know if you were focused on Matt Dale there, Tony, but that's exactly what I was talking about in the pre-race show. Everybody getting really squirrely going for that turn 4. And one wrong move by any of those drivers while they're all bunched up together like they are, it's going to take out a lot of cars here tonight.
And that is the fun and excitement that is Five Flags. All it takes is, someone else stepping on their junk for you to get caught up in their dumpster fire.
Yeah,
right. Sorry, go ahead, Sam.
I think I just changed the flavor of my driving suit, and I'm not even in the event.
The 95 and Neil Allison almost getting it wrong outside of turn 4 and taking Matt Dale with him.
And Dale into the wall.
Whoops.
Now that had to have messed up the Watts link in that car. And for those of you who don't know what a Watts link is, it's basically it's what links the rear axle to the chassis of the car. There's not really enough room in the chassis of this size to put a standard Panhard bar like you would see in a stock car.
Yeah, caution's out again. That is Neil Allison.
Oh, and the leader guy is coming to the caution flag, spun and hit the inside wall.
What the hell?
Ryan Libby having to tow that car after an unconventional incident, and Ryan Libby immediately put it behind the wall.
Because he knocked the rear axle out of it. And there's no fast repairs here. He's completely knocked the rear axle out of that car.
He is going to be absolutely furious.
Do we have Ryan in TeamSpeak?
Let me go check.
Yeah, I mean, it just looked like he let off the gas and the car just snapped.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have Ryan Libby in TeamSpeak.
Wow. Okay, well, we're going to have to hang tight for right now. Again, not wanting to jinx anybody, so we're not going to talk to anybody who's currently running. But that's going to hand the lead of the race over to Nate Anderson. Nick Schneider sitting in second. Come on. Work, damn it. Your top 5. Nate Anderson, Nick Schneider, Trent Goodrow, Matt Dale. Matt Dale, your pole sitter, already up to 4th after taking the Griffith Stone Challenge, where anybody in the top 5 can elect to take a EOL penalty, start at the tail end of the field, and if they manage to win the event, they will be receiving a $5 prize.
And is definitely looking in the right direction right now as he's made his way from the back of the field in 16th place. Actually, he made that 15th place because David Hayne did not take the start by the looks of things. And he's already up to P4. And he's managed to jump Michael Henry in the process. So definitely a man on the move. And he's definitely got his eyes on the prize here tonight.
Absolutely. As, these guys... It's fun to watch these guys do this every week. And the fact that, you know, KP, I know you've driven this car on dirt. I've driven this car on dirt. Sam, I know you've driven this car on dirt.
Yeah.
It's fun on dirt because it's designed for dirt. You got to be so up on the wheel, and what I mean by that is you've got to basically be ready at all times for this car to try to kill you when you're on a pavement track. Because the car will try to kill you every lap.
Well, sprint cars in general try to kill you no matter what you're on. But yeah, more so on pavement, as we've learned.
Green, green, green.
And I wasn't live.
Oh, and we are back racing. Nate Anderson's going to lead him down into turn 1, and we already have someone spinning.
That's Robert Smith, and Michael Henry's in it too. Michael Henry in trouble.
Now let's follow along with the Spaceballs to sprint car number 15 to see what took place. That was all Mike Henry by himself. And what I'm thinking is he got on the binders just a little too hard. And unfortunately, with the way that the sprint car works, if you ever truly come off the gas, it just unloads the rear axle, and you're more likely to go around.
Yeah, you know, the way these cars are set up, you know this, Tony. I mean, Sam, anyone who's a dirt racing fan knows these cars are designed at least, you know, partially to be steered with the throttle. And that's going to translate over onto the onto the asphalt side. So you really have to still be very touchy of it. And like what you said, Tony, that's what happened by the looks of it.
Well, you're steering it with the throttle, but normally, at least on the dirt side, especially with the 305, once the green flag comes out, you basically put a brick on the accelerator pedal and don't touch it until the checkers come out.
That's true, depending on the track. I don't think I'd want to try Lima Land flat out in a 305 even.
Why not? We did it at, what's the other one there? The free track.
Oh, yeah. I'm drawing a blank too. Flag alert? No. Shit. I don't remember. Sorry, folks.
Langhorne. No, I wish we had Langhorne. Holy crap, that would be fun. So anyways, Nate Anderson getting ready to bring him back to green. As the 116 of Nick Snyder eats the outside wall on the backstretch. And keep your eye on the black and teal car on the high side, ladies and gentlemen.
Green, green, green.
As that is Matt Dale going after the Griffith Stone challenge.
Yeah, so they go through turns 3 and 4. Still, again, getting very bobbly through turn 4. Managing to hold on to it, but Nate Anderson still able to hold on to the lead over the 116.
And Nate is fighting the daylights out of that car right now. As Nick Schneider's got to look to the inside.
And that was a beautiful pass for them.
Hang on to her, kid.
Anderson going to get frame trained now because he's all out of whack and he's going to be stuck on that outside. Here comes...
That's Bremkamp in the 78.
Yeah, there it goes.
Oh, we got one upside down. Red flag conditions. That's the 95 of Neil Allison. Let's take a look at what... Oh, boy. He had some help. And a breakdancing sprint car.
Michael Henry, no doubt, got involved in that.
Watch it again. You'll see Henry catch the wall coming off of 4, hits that bump, and just nowhere to go. Neil Allison just stuck in the Kench fence. and he's going to have to tow it.
Which he has done, so unlucky there for Neil Allison. He's already going to be 2 laps down at this point. Meanwhile, it looks like Nick Snyder is going to be your leader at this point. Trent Goodrose second, Matt Bremkamp third. Matt Dale still in fourth. He did get passed by, I think it was Bremkamp that passed him?
It was.
Yeah. Nate Anderson dropped to fifth after that slide, after that horrible moment, lost him all that momentum, and he just fell backwards from that point onwards. Joshua Gaiman sixth, seventh is Dalton Connor, eighth is Colin Penn, ninth is Jason Griffith, and tenth, what a rebound for Wally Beatty. He's up into 10th already.
Absolutely. You know, the one thing that's kind of got me a little surprised is we haven't seen anybody take a right rear tire yet. I would almost think that as we're closing in, or well, we're past halfway, or 27 to go, you know, I would think somebody would have ducked down pit road to get a new right rear, you know, get something a little bit cooler on the car, cooler temperature wise, you know, and then just march through the field, because right now everybody's right rear tire has got to be screaming on this car right now as we've been watching these guys just, you know, battle tooth and nail, and some of these guys have been getting a little sideways.
Yeah, especially, again, mentioning that turn 4 bump, that's catching a lot of people out here tonight as well.
Well, it goes back to what we talked about in the pre-race, where if you're in that outside line coming off of 4 under power,
Green flag.
you've really got to be mindful that that bump is there, or else you're going to have a situation like we just had.
There's the underway again. Snyder manages to get a decent restart there. Defending on the outside. Looks like Dale's in trouble there, as there goes Nate Anderson to the inside of Dale. Anderson getting a bit screwy. That's going to give Dale a bit of momentum on the outside as he keeps it wound about. There's Dale, gets it all wrong. But that's going to be Michael Henry in it again, with the number 8 of Robert Smith.
Well, let's find out what happened here, because at least one of those cars completely disappeared for a couple seconds.
Yeah, that was Robert Smith, a bit of a...
Oh, the 75. Wally Beatty got it all wrong and just came down the racetrack, and Smith and Henry were already there side by side. Let's watch that again. Keep your eye on the 75. He's going to bounce it off the wall there. He's going to come down, and unfortunately, Smith, not really any place to go, just gets into Henry, and Henry eats the inside wall, and then Smith spins into the outside wall.
Yeah, and unfortunately, winner from last week, Michael Henry, is now out of this race. He's put his car behind the wall.
Yeah, I know he's in here, so...
Oh, we got 20 laps to go, guys. So, you know, it's getting down to go time, but I might have been just a little bit too much go there.
User was moved to your channel.
As we're going to reach out to the winner from 2 weeks ago, Mike Henry. Mike, how bad is the tire wear going right now?
Well, tire wear is not really the problem. I mean, these cars seem to actually get better as the run goes on. Really, the last few weeks, the fastest lap we've run is the last few laps, because we're lower on fuel and the tires are getting wore out. But right now, the biggest problem is netcode. If you watch some of the onboard cameras, if you know some of the guys are going to put it up on YouTube for their own purposes, all the cars dead center of the corner, no matter where you're at, or you know where you're at in the field, all the cars come up the track. Same thing as Bristol, and we just got to figure that out. That's what caught me in the first 2 times we got wrecked was, cars, you'd be on the outside and, a little tight to the guy on the inside, but, just trying to get them aero tight or aero loose, and they just slide up the track. So, it sucks, but, that's racing. It happens. Yeah, I put myself behind early just because I pushed the initial fuel too far and ran out of fuel on pit road, so it made it real long pit road stop. But that's my fault. But hey, we'll bounce back next week.
Well, I'm sorry to see it end this way, Mike. Looking forward to seeing you next week.
Appreciate it, guys.
As we're actually under green again, Snyder getting off to a decent start there over. Brenkamp is now second. Matt Dale up to third now. You could see on that restart while we were talking to Michael Henry that he was eager to go before the green even came out. And we could see why he's absolutely walking away from fourth place now. The yellow flag comes out again.
And unfortunately, as far as tonight goes, there's Jason Griffith getting caught up in another one. Griffith has no front wing on his car. What the heck happened here? Okay, so he got into it with a 75, tore the front end off the car, didn't realize it, and then just clobbers the 8, and yeah. All right. Well then.
And guys, I just want to point out Matt Dale in third. I think this caution benefited him greatly. 2 leaders had jumped out to a little bit of a gap on him there. They'd gapped him just maybe 2 or 3 seconds. This puts him right back on their bumpers.
I just wanted to point out that also helped Dale as well, because when he jumped up to third on that restart, he actually started pulling away from Trent Goodrow. So definitely a good run for Dale there. But yeah, Snyder and Brenkamp definitely had it hooked up on that last restart and were definitely walking away from the field at that point.
Well, there was, when we were watching, there looked like there was a little bit of a traffic jam going into turn 1, turn 2. A couple guys got it sideways, and Dale was the beneficiary, snuck by everyone, but at the expense of having a large gap between him and the leaders.
Absolutely.
Well, needless to say, it's going to be an exciting last 13, 14 laps here as we're getting close to the finish, guys.
Yeah, we should be going green with about 11 to go, I would say.
So who are you guys putting your money on?
Matt Dale, definitely. He's on a charge right now.
You, Tony?
My money's on the pace car driver.
We all know we can't have that. I'm going to agree with Sam. I think Matt Dale is going to pull this one out. I've got faith.
Well, we're going to be going green with 11 laps to go by the looks of things, so they all going 2 by 2 again. KP, I think it's your turn to get us going again.
Oh, man. Okay. All right. Well, it's going to be an exciting one. 10 to go at the line, I believe. Am I right,
11.
Tony?
11 to go.
Sorry. I'm looking at the wrong lap counter. Anyway, pace car is about to dive off. Pace car onto pit road. Here they come.
Green flag.
And the green is back out. Leaders to a jump, but here comes Dale on the inside looking for second.
Yeah, and almost immediately on that restart, Matt Dale looking for the second place and already looking for the lead. Look at that ground he made up on Snyder, going through turns 1 and going to turns 3 and 4. Going to come towards the line, right on the tail of that 116, Tony.
Dale got the start he needed. Now the question is, can he finish the game?
Absolutely, as the nose to tail, the top 3 as they come out of turn 4 into turns 1 and 2.
9 to go right now.
Oh, Dale getting a bit of the apron there going through turn 2, and that's going to let Brenkamp back in.
Yeah, we're getting dangerously close to next flag ends it, guys. You know, if you got anything left in that car, now's the time to play with it.
Yeah, and tyre wear definitely going to be an issue at this point, as you can see Matt Dale literally sliding it through the corners there, almost getting it wrong through turns 1 and 2, manages to keep it hooked up through 4, which is the Calamity Corner here tonight, don't forget, and still able to hang with Nick Snyder right now.
Well, Schneider's no slouch in that 116. We saw him last season.
Here's the pass for the lead, guys.
Well, we saw Schneider work some magic at Bristol. Going to try to keep it wound up on the high side here at Five Flags. Unfortunately, turn 4 is not where you want to do it.
Oh, so close to the
Crosses him over.
Dale's going to lose second place as well to Brownkamp as Brownkamp moves up to second now. Brownkamp in with a shot at winning this as well, let's not forget. He has been there the whole time. Brownkamp and Dale side by side as they come out of turn 4. Snyder, with 4 laps to go now, is in the capper as he sees the guys fighting behind him, and he's absolutely...
Oh!
Dale hits the back end of Brownkamp. Dale nearly gets run over by Dalton Connor.
And Bremkamp to the lead.
Oh, no!
As Dale crashes.
No, Dale didn't
I'm sorry,
crash.
Snyder crashed.
Oh, wow.
I think that might do it, guys. I think Mark Brandkamp might be our winner.
Oh, my Lanta. And the 77 of Josh Gaiman just used as a pinball. And unfortunately, Josh Griffith catches another race car to the face.
Heartbreak for Nick Snyder there, as he had this race pretty much in the bag, and then that one mistake just really threw it away for him.
Well, he got in a little hot going into 3. And while he was trying to get it collected back up, just unfortunately, as the saying goes, he stepped on his own junk. How about Dalton Connor, though? Picking his way through the carnage, ripping the hood and the front wing completely off of the 225. The only Pontiac-powered car in the field tonight.
As we are on the final lap, Brownkamp is going to win this thing here as they go through turns 1 and 2 onto the backstretch and towards 3 and 4. So Brownkamp going to come home with the win here. Dalton Connor is going to be second. Matt Dale comes up slightly short in this one, Tony.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Not for the one to try it though, because he really took it to Snyder and Brownkamp in those closing stages.
Oh, absolutely. Another couple of laps, I think he probably could have had it. But let's reach out to the guy who was scheduled to start on the pole, but went after the Griffith Stone Challenge. Just came up just a tick short, Mr. Matt Dale. Matt, that's a heartbreaker, sir.
Yeah, I shouldn't have got on the gas when I passed Snyder so quick. I thought I was gonna hang him out there, but he got under me and crossed me over, and then we had that late race caution.
Talk to us about the last caution that came out, what you saw from your point of view, because you almost caught a race car to the face in that one.
Yeah, I had wheel hop Mark, and that just killed my momentum. And then after all that, I believe it was Snyder, and I'm not sure who the other one was. Those two just kind of got into it, and all heck broke loose from there.
Well, Schneider and unfortunately Josh Gaiman was used as a pinball at one point. So, but Matt, it was definitely fun to watch you come through the field. Just a tick short. Going to have another shot at it next week, though. Best of luck to you, sir.
Yep, appreciate it.
User was moved out of your channel.
And
to your channel.
We talked to him during the pre-race, and I'm thinking that the announcer's curse is now something of a thing of the past. It's now the announcer's blessing, as the man of the hour, a driver of the MD Designs number 78, Mr. Mark Bremkamp. Mark, congratulations, sir.
Thank you. That was tough. I really did not want to win it like that, but I mean, to me it was a racing deal. I was pushing the car just like the other two were, but I don't know. It is what it is. I hope that we can clear the air and have a cleaner race for the win next week.
Well, from what we saw up here, anyways, it was a hard fought battle. It was one of those racing deals that caught everybody out. And then what brought the last caution out was just looked like Schneider overcooked it going into 3.
Yeah, I saw the inside line open up, so I took it in there a little harder than what I wanted to. The car pushed up, I bumped him, got him a little loose, and then we were side by side coming off of 4, and then I felt him hit me again, and then I happened to look and see behind me that he went around and caught the entire field, and I was just like, well, darn it.
Well, I know it's not the way you wanted to win it, but it all looks the same in the box score. Anybody you'd like to thank tonight, sir?
Well, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Moonlit Dreams, for coming on board this year, and just trying to help promote their company and get them out there and just help them out. I can't thank them enough. I can't thank Colin Penn enough for putting on this series. It's a hell of a series. It's always a hard race everywhere you go. So
Absolutely. But, congratulations on the win tonight. And, you mentioned Moonlit Dreams. You said that's your sister's company that, that you're able to bring into victory lane today. So I'm sure your sister's, going to be proud of you. Moonlitdreams.net for all your weighted blanket needs. Whether you just want help sleeping or whatever you need, Moonlit Dreams is where you want to be. So again, congratulations, sir, and looking forward to seeing you next week.
thank you, guys.
So
User was moved out of your channel.
Sam, KP, that was your first adventure with the 305 Wing Sprint Car Series. What'd you think?
Well, I'm going to say I think it held up to the billing. I know, Tony, you tell us in our production meetings every week that these cars are something that you got to watch and you got to experience firsthand. And it was an exciting race. We had a really good battle down the stretch there for the win. And, all the way throughout the race, there was a lot of good moving, a lot of good shaking, and a ton of fun to watch.
Absolutely, and it was also really exciting to see Matt Dale, see Dale just absolutely pile drive his way through the field. I mean, took the pole, opted to start at the back, and then make his way through the field. Matt Dale, definitely the driver of the night here tonight, and unlucky to come up short. But yeah, like you said, KP hit the nail on the head there. Definitely an exciting race tonight, and yeah, it's going to be exciting to see what they can do in the future.
Well, I believe that's going to about do it for us here tonight. Let's just go over the results real quick. Mark Bremkamp, of course, coming home with the victory. Dalton Connor hanging on for second, missing the entire nose of that car. So able to survive the carnage that was turn 4 on the last green flag lap. Matt Dale, unfortunately, just came up just a tick short. Nate Anderson had a little bit of problems early on. Was able to battle back for 4th. Trent Goodrow hanging on for 5th. Colin Penn, name we didn't really mention a lot tonight. Just kept his nose clean, kept kind of quiet. Came home in 6th. Wally Beatty, unfortunately, was hit by everything except the pace car. Just caught up in everyone else's dumpster fire. Coming home in 7th. Same goes for Josh Gaiman tonight. And for that matter, Jason Griffith was hit by everything except the pace car and the flagman. Just caught up in everyone else's oops. Hanging on for 9th. Robert Smith coming home in 10th. Where are we? Doug Wysocki for 11th. Nick Schneider for 12th. Mike Henry, just, you heard the dejection in his voice earlier. Kind of feel bad for how his race ended. Neil Allison, same thing there. And Ryan Libby, the first car to actually take the green and retire. David Hayne did not start. So that's where we sit with that one. What more can we say other than, 305 Sprint Series on pavement is quickly becoming my favorite series to broadcast simply because of all the action that you see all across the track every week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's an unconventional series for an unconventional car. I mean, it's dirt sprint cars on asphalt, except this has proven to be one of the most exciting series that we have shown on our channel. And personally, as an outsider that doesn't usually visit these broadcasts, I'm intrigued to see more. And I want to see how much more this can grow and how much more exciting it can be. And judging by last season and the beginning of this season, it's definitely going in the right direction. So kudos go out to the league owners for this one.
Well, I have been told, an inside source, it has not been confirmed, ladies and gentlemen, but KP, I'm going to mention a name of a race to you, and you tell me the first thing that pops into your mind.
Okay.
Copper World Classic.
Ooh.
That's just that's
the closest thing.
Like a lot of fun.
The closest thing that we are probably ever going to see to a super modified in iRacing, at least at this point in time, is the winged 410 sprint car.
That's probably a fair assessment. Unfortunately, being a car that's stuck to the Northeast, not hugely popular elsewhere, but if they made an ump modified, I think we can see a super mod eventually.
You're not wrong. Whether or not it happens, but I have heard rumors that there's going to be a special race this season. Be it, you call it an all-star race if you want, but again, this is just rumors. It has not been confirmed by league management. 410 sprints at Phoenix. Personally, I want to see it.
Yeah, I want to too. That's a lot of fun. That should be a blast, actually.
So,
I completely agree with you.
hopefully Colin Penn and the rest of the league management will actually make that happen for us. I do know that there's one pavement track that they're talking about not actually going to this season. And I forget at this point in time which one that was. I believe it was the one that we ran with the IndyCar series that one time, that the feeder series for the IndyCars. That
a track that shall not be named?
No, the one that everybody kept barrel rolling the Mazda at.
Thompson.
Thank you. I've heard rumors that track might be removed from the schedule. Again, not confirmed, but I've heard the rumors. But we're going to need to get a screen cap off of the broadcast on this one, solely because of, trust me, Mark Bremkamp, you're going to love this screenshot when I send it to you. So, on that note, I believe that's going to do it for us here tonight. I got to thank Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett and Mr. Kevin Pasquich for joining me up in the booth. This is Tony Trapasso telling you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Smash that bell button so you get notifications when we are going to be live. If you want to get in on the action, future action here in the MD Designs 305 Sprint Car Series, go ahead and drop a comment in the replay comment section with your iRacing screen name. We'll get that passed along to Colin and the rest of the league admin and see if we can't get you added into future action. That's going to do it for us here tonight. We will see you Wednesday. Sam, where the hell are we? No, we're off this week.
We're off this week. The next broadcast will actually be on Thursday with Somo when we go to the Tricky Triangle.
Okay, so
Drinking game.
note to self: get into a car accident on the way home from work. Okay, no, ladies and gentlemen, it's nothing against Somo. I just hate Pocono.
No, the new track's not so bad.
I hate that track with a passion, but that's neither here nor there. You know, the tracks I love, most people hate, and the tracks most people love, I normally can't stand. So I'm one of those guys. So yeah, hold it against me. So we'll see you Thursday night from the Tricky Triangle. Ladies and gentlemen, keep it dirty side down.
See you later.
Good night, folks.